welcome to the Asheville View. Today we're going to discuss self-care. You know, self-care is an activity that you do deliberately in order to take care of yourself, but sometimes we overlook it. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about how we build it into our daily lifestyle and how we overcome the challenges to make sure we stay on point when it comes to our self-care. So tell me, how are you all taking care of yourself?
I honestly think the hardest part of taking care of yourself is determining what do you need. And sometimes it is a brunch out with your friends getting wild, and sometimes it's skipping that brunch and sleeping. And the fun part about self-care is you can do it all the time, because it can be as simple as, what do I need right now to make me feel better, look better? And so it might just be drinking a glass of water, having a cup of tea. It might be like, oh, I've noticed I've been breaking out lately. Let me do a face mask. It might be like, oh, my skin's dry. Let me put on lotion. So it doesn't look one way. And I think you just have to determine which part of you needs what at what time.
Speaking of drinking a glass of water or a glass of tea, I like to drink a cocktail. That's, to me, finding the time on a Sunday or after work. Some people say, it has to be 5 o'clock, but it's just sometimes it's having a cocktail at 3 or at 2 or
Amen.
at 11.
Amen.
So it's just not judging yourself and saying, hey, it's okay. I'm not driving. I'm okay.
You're not teaching.
I'm not teaching. Although sometimes it'll make it so much easier, trust me. But it's just having that moment, taking that moment and saying, this is what I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to sit on my porch. I'm going to enjoy this cocktail and do me and just feel myself.
So sometimes it's just doing what you want to do.
Absolutely.
When you have the time.
With no judgment.
And I know people often say, well, part of my self-care, which it is getting my physical, taking my vitamins, doing exercise even if I don't like to. And that should really be about activities of daily living. Self-care is more what makes your heart sing, what calms you down, what feels good to you. And people are different, because although I'm out in the public constantly and I really resonate with that, but I'm really an introvert.
Wow.
And the difference between an extrovert and an introvert is that the extrovert really gets their energy back by being out with people and going to events and doing things. An introvert actually likes time to themselves to recover, to get their energy back. And so it's different. I happen to like to read a lot. Some people like to do puzzles. I'd rather have my fingernails pulled out by the roots than do a puzzle. So, it needs to be personal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
self-care is so interesting because, you have that mental piece, that emotional piece, and that physical piece. I think for me right now, I'm extremely focused on that emotional piece. And I used to think that would come from like me and my husband, and now I'm learning the importance of having girlfriends and making sure that my female relationships are really tight. And that I have people to go to hold me up mentally and emotionally and hear the things that maybe my husband does not want to hear, or maybe things that my family's tired of hearing, and we can connect on that level.
Girlfriends and gay friends.
Yes,
Absolutely.
of course.
Absolutely. Girls trips. Traveling is so good for your soul. It's so good for you as a person. And what's better than to travel with your girlfriends? And we made it a point this past, I think, 3 years. We made a point of always taking a trip. Just girls, just letting your hair down, being away from the kids, from the husbands, from everything, and just being and laughing and bar hopping, restaurant hopping, staying up all night. I mean, just, you need it. Food for the soul.
Definitely.
I think self-care should definitely feel good and fun. I definitely think that having fun is a huge part of self-care in a world that's so driven by, you got to be here at this time, and you've got to do this, and you got to study
eat
this,
healthy.
and you got to do this. And no, like sometimes it's just fun to do what you want.
Exactly.
And you know what's so interesting? Dr. Brittany Cooper speaks a lot about queer relationships when it comes to friendships. And so speaking of girlfriends and gay friends, how, especially when you're in these friendships that are holding you up, they can seem like queer friendships, even if you are heterosexual. That these friendships, they blur lines. You cry together, you lay in bed together, you trust each other, you share these secrets, and that is really the successful way to build strong family and familiar bonds. So
Well, I think we have a problem with comforting each other, and not this. I mean, you should always respect people's boundaries, but we are in a society where it's like if you cuddle with your best friend, you all must be
Yes.
in love or in a relationship or having sex,
Yeah.
and that's not necessarily the case. People can show affection
Absolutely.
without jumping ya.
but sex is a part of self-care,
Right.
right? And that we need what that gives us, the oxytocins, that emotional peace, that sense of belonging as well. So we need all of that to be whole, healthy adults.
It's good for you too.
Absolutely. Like Jack Canfield says, you must get 12 hugs a day. And think about that. I mean, how many times do we really get that? But it's the importance of that physical, and there's a difference between hugs, where you can just feel that person's arms around you, and it's not just a quick hug. That's so important. And talking about girlfriends, oh my gosh, I've got the best girlfriends. I was just in Minnesota a couple weeks ago, and I still have my best friends from kindergarten
Wow.
Oh wow.
That's
in
amazing.
rural Minnesota. And there's about 6 of us, and every time when I come back, I mean, we still got more friends than 6, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The 6 get together at noon, have lunch, and cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I mean, otherwise we wouldn't go to lunch.
Yes, sure. Cocktails just make everything better.
Right.
I mean, self-care.
And it's like you've never had any time or space
Yeah.
between you. You're just right back into that great relationship.
So healthy.
Right, and your journaling is really good for you, that reflection, and just being able to sort of think about where I've been, plus where am I going, and having that time to really journal that out and really feel that, I think is very important too. How are you teaching these things to your patients, your students, and your friends? How are you teaching these things and bringing these things into your daily life in terms of the people who are around you?
It's difficult because I think that a lot of people think that self-care is selfish, and they don't think they deserve it, or if they do it, then they're being selfish or spoiled or.
But we need to make a point of saying that it's self-full. It's about filling yourself up.
It is.
And I think that's really important here
It
today.
really is. I try to, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
Dr. Rowland. I try to tell my kids all the time, I call them my kids, my students, I try to always tell them whenever they're coming to talk to me about grades right away and doing this right away and they're really stressed out, I would always say, take a deep breath, we'll do it next week. Don't worry about it, it's Friday. I don't give them any homework on Fridays because I'll just say, go, relax, take some deep breaths. We don't need to be doing this right now. If you're stressed out, you can do this work another time. It's really, our kids are so stressed out now that it's really important to bring that together and say, sometimes you need to just pump the brakes and relax and take care of yourself.
That's very important. For my patients, I actually will pull out the prescription pad and write that they need to take an afternoon off and sign it, and I tell them to put it on the refrigerator so their family can see it, and that it's from the doctor, so it's the doctor's orders to do this. And when they decide on that time, that's sacred time for them, and other arrangements need to be made in the family or friends to do things that need to get done on that particular time. Or you could do it a day before or a day after, whatever. Now, I'm very good with doing that with my patients, and I tell them this isn't pampering. This is good health.
Yes, it's needed.
As a role model in my family, I'm not such a good role model because I'll talk to them about one of my sons is an attorney, you know, and he's stressed and he's busy. And I say, just breathe, take time out. And he looks at me like, really?
Yeah.
You know, and then I say, but I love what I do. And if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it.
You're watching the Asheville View, and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sharon Norling, and I'm going to answer your questions today about masturbation. That's a topic I get asked about frequently. And the most recent question was, is it okay to masturbate 3 times a week? Well, of course, and I'm wondering why they aren't masturbating more often. Because with masturbation and sex, you actually live longer. It enhances your immune system, it burns calories, it decreases heart disease, it actually regulates your hormones, and it reduces stress. It reduces headaches and even pain. So if your wife is saying to you, you know, honey, I just can't do it tonight because I have a headache, you can tell her you have the cure for the headache. So this is really important, and it's important for men too, because the more sex they have, the less prostate cancer they get. So it's important to have sex, and sex reduces your stress. It actually releases a hormone called oxytocin, which makes you very calm. That's why some people after sex will actually fall asleep. Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I had a patient who once told me, you know what? I sleep through the whole thing. Anyway, it does decrease your stress, and it counteracts those stress hormones that have accumulated during your day. And research has shown that orgasms add years to your life. Some people actually use a scream cream. That's a prescription. It works within 30 minutes. I prescribe it for my patients because if all else fails, they can use a scream cream. The only thing about the scream cream is that you have to, once you put it on, you gotta stay home. You can't go to the grocery store, you can't go out, you know, run a quick errand, because it works in 30 minutes. So you don't wanna be at the grocery store and all of a sudden begin to feel that urge, and you know, you're just in a very public place. So using it is great, but masturbation is healthy, and it is healthy for you and for your husband or your boyfriend or both of those.
As we're back, welcome back to the Asheville View, and we're here with our makeup lady, Pamela Zuwick, who is going to share with us some healthy skincare tips. So, speaking of tips, give us one tip on how we take good care of our skin.
Wash it gently with cool water. Don't beat on your face. A lot of people like to really rub hard, you know, just soft. When you take off your makeup, go inward so you're not pulling your skin. It doesn't seem like it one time, right? But you're going to do that for years of doing that. So over the course of time, you're pulling on your skin, and eventually one day you wake up and you're like, where do those lines come from?
Is that with a towel or with your hands?
When I'm taking my makeup off,
Yeah, it looks like you're doing it with your hands.
well, because I don't have my skincare cloth, I use a little, it's like a little makeup remover cloth. Sometimes I use makeup wipes. But I like to I use like a little oil, either an argan oil or you can use grapeseed oil. I do a little bit and I rub that on first, and then I have a little makeup cloth that I wet with some warm water, and then I do in a soft circular motion, and then always go up. Because your skin will naturally fall down over the course of time because of gravity, so you always want to work up.
Well, I have a question, and I'm sorry, this is not a skincare question,
Okay.
but I always get compliments from women specifically on my eyelashes.
You have good
and they
eyelashes.
always talk about how theirs break off and how they're short. And I was just wondering if you knew any tips to keep eyelashes strong, healthy, and like help them grow.
That's because the universe gives men good eyelashes because they don't have
Everything.
right. Because women have to put on our, I have magnetic ones on.
Oh, cool.
Well, when you're taking off your makeup, when you're taking off your makeup, you do it gently. Like I said, and then also I do it from underneath. But you can use a little bit of oil at night. I mean, there are now little lash conditioners
Oh, okay.
that come with a
I had
little
no
brush,
idea.
and you can just lightly brush them on gently. But I usually just put a little bit of an oil or moisturizer lightly on them. You don't want to get it in your eye, just do it lightly on it.
Okay, nice.
And that'll keep them moist. Also use, as much as possible, use not a waterproof mascara. I mean, there's times that we need it, and it does last longer, and it works better, and I do like it, but it will tend over the course of time to dry out your lashes, and that makes them a little more brittle. And I am finding, as we mature, they just naturally aren't as lush as they used to be, so you just have to
Well,
be.
now I have some
Lovely.
answers for my girlfriends.
Well, speaking of taking, washing your face and washing your eyes
Up.
and makeup. Yes, up, sorry. If, let's say, I know this is really bad. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this and this is going to be bad, but I'm just trying to do
I know
some
what
kind
you're
of
gonna say.
damage
I
control.
know what you're gonna
So
say.
let's say I have a long night, been out, and I come home and the last thing I want to do is wash makeup off my face. I know this is awful, but sometimes it happens. And so my question is, when that does happen, what can we do to kind of do damage control the next day? When you do wake up and say, oh my God, I slept with my makeup on my face and I know it's really bad, what can I do to not make it as bad anymore?
Right. Now, once in a while, that's not going to be terrible. I know there's a lot of women, especially young people, who never take it off.
Yeah.
Never ever take it off. And then that mascara eventually, you tell me if this is correct or not, eventually the pieces that break off get in behind your eye and, it gets icky.
Yeah.
But I take off my makeup like brushing my teeth. So even if I fall asleep, sometimes I fall asleep on the couch. Don't like to admit that out loud, but I do. And I will wake up in the middle of the night and I will still wash my face. And then that's when I maybe just do a makeup wipe just to make sure I do it. In the morning, I will rinse again. And what I usually do when that happens is, I have I can't remember the name of the product. I have it's an oil with another little cleanser on it, and I do that and wash it in warm water, and I do a light tone, and then I let it relax I don't try to put makeup right back on right away.
So you don't have to do the whole regimen of washing the face, putting all the oils and everything. If you can just do a little bit before you fall asleep, it doesn't have to be something big that you don't have time to do. You just do a little bit, and
Right,
it's
and
so
I
much
usually
better
always
than
use a
doing
nice
nothing.
little toner, and I get a sensitive skin toner, whether you have sensitive skin or not. If you're going to use it, it's amazing. If you when you wash in the shower and you take it off, and you think you've cleaned it. When I take a little toner on a cotton ball
You're right.
and clean my face, and I always do my neck and chest. I just rub it everywhere. I'm always amazed. I'm thinking, did I just get out of the shower?
Yeah.
Because I'm amazed how much residue is still left. So
Wow.
sometimes you think you're cleaning, but you're not really cleaning. I do that until my cotton ball does not have is not a different color than the white.
Well, when you're taking a shower, you're cleaning your skin, but when you're doing the toner, you're cleaning your pores. So you're
Well, it takes off
Whatever's
residue,
left over.
makeup, and things like that, and dirt and oils that are still in there. You'd be amazed that the dirt and oils that stay on your skin. And first of all, just walk, some people don't like to wear makeup because they think, we don't want to let our skin breathe, but like a BB cream or a CC cream, which is a tinted moisturizer that has a lot of extra little goodies in it that help, diffuse the light, it helps diminish lines. I don't know what they put in it, but it's a lot of things in one, and it has sunblock in it. But in the daily, everyday stuff, a little bit of that on your skin actually helps to protect it from the environment, from the dirt and the air and the wind and the sun. It does provide a little bit of protection. So I'm not a huge fan of sunblock per se, but something like my makeup usually has some sunblock in it, or like the moisturizer cream has sunblock in it, and that helps to protect your skin for the day too.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on to the Asheville View.
Thank you
We
for
love
having me
you
to do all your faces.
Thank you for making our faces.
Thank you.
Yeah, owe it all to you.
Lipstick and eyeliner.